Rendille, a remarkable ethnic group residing in the arid northern Kenya. These nomadic pastoralists are often referred to as the elders of the stick of God. Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of the Rendille people, exploring their rich history, unique traditions, and cultural practices that have stood the test of time. My Rendille people nebe heite. The Rendille people reside in the vast Kaisut Desert, situated in the western part of Marsabit County of Kenya. With a population of approximately 64,000 people, they proudly preserve their nomadic lifestyle, closely connected to the land they call their promised land. The primary towns that the Rendille live in include Marsabit, Laisamis, Merile, Loglogo, Loyangalani, Kor, Karare, Kamboi, Gurnit, and Kargi. Rendille are Cushitic people and have Ethiopia as their original homeland, though as ancestors of Kush, they traveled through Suez Canal to Ethiopia as their first destination. They were compelled to migrate south to northern Kenya due to increased rivalry and conflicts with the people of the Oromo tribes and later Somalis, mainly over grazing land and water for their livestock. As the Somali people journeyed towards Somalia in search of fertile pastures, the Rendille chose to stay in their present homeland, rejecting the land of the Somalis and becoming known as Rertit, or the rejected people. This decision has shaped their unique identity and cultural heritage. The Rendille language is a close relative to the Somali. Rendille are believed to be alienated, and experts believe that pure Rendille are almost extinct, with their language confined to a few in Kargi and Kor. Rendille language is especially under threat from the Samburu. The Rendille people follow a traditional pastoralist way of life, raising goats, sheep, cattle, donkeys, and camels. Among these animals, camels hold particular significance as they provide milk and meat, making them essential to the Rendille semi-nomadic lifestyle in their arid territory. Camels are well adapted to the harsh conditions, and their unique design allows them to serve as a means of transportation for shifting between sites, carrying essential family belongings on their backload. The nomadic lifestyle of the Rendille has become less prominent with the development of boreholes and centers that allow a permanent existence. Their staple food consists of meat and a mixture of milk and blood known as banjo. The Rendille are organized into an age-grade system of patrilineal lineage groups known as Keia, which are subsumed under 15 clans or group. Of those, only 9 are considered the authentic Rendille. These northern Rendille or Rendille proper are consequently the ones that are included in the traditional Rendille moiety or Belesi. There are 9 subclans of northern Rendille, which include the Uruwen, Dispahai, Rangumo, Lukumai, Tupsha, Gartailan, Martaba, Otola, and Sale. The remaining 6 clans that are excluded from the moiety consist of mixed individuals and are often referred to as the Southern Rendille. It comprises of the Ilturia and the Arial, who also had cattle and are closely related to the Samburu. Due to the intermarriage with the Samburu tribe, there is now what can be termed as a hybrid culture. With the recent droughts, transition is underway, and in the near future, there is a chance that their pure nomadic ways of life will slowly die. The Rendille clans established temporary settlements known as gobs near wells which bear the name of the clan, subclan, or the elder of the family. These settlements serve as their base, but they do not stay there for extended periods. Instead, they move 3 to 5 times in a year in search of water sources and grazing areas. The villages consist of about 24 houses known as manyatas or homesteads, accommodating around 120 individuals. These manyatas are constructed with semi-spherical huts made from branches and covered with leather or canvas. The responsibility of dismantling and relocating houses falls to the women. Close to the manyatas, an enclosure of woven branches provides protection to the camels during the night. Each type of livestock, such as camels, sheep, goats, and cattle, has a separate camp attended to by the people of different age sets. Within the community, elders and chiefs assumed leadership roles, guiding the traditional way of life. The Rendille people adhered to a traditional religion centered around the worship of Wak, which held a great significance in their culture. In the related Oromo culture, Wak symbolizes a single god of an ancient pre-Abrahamic monotheistic faith followed by various Kushite groups. The Rendille family believe that their presence in the desert is not accidental, but rather destined as their promised land. Their popular morning prayers express their devotion to Wak or Ngai, acknowledging that though their deity cannot traverse mountains or seas, it remains with them in their cherished promised land, safeguarding their past, present, and future generations. Within the traditional religion of the Rendille, several practices are observed, including prayers to the moon, animal sacrifices, and veneration of ancestral spirits. During the night of the new moon, which is a significant event in their religious calendar, the firstborn son of each family sounds the horn as the ceremonial custom. Red paint is made from clay and applied to their skin and hair, while incense from local trees is burnt as offerings to the god of the new moon. At 8 p.m., prayers are earnestly offered to seek blessings, including a special prayer for a long life, reaching out to the new moon and invoking divine favor for a lengthy and fulfilling existence. During eclipses, heartfelt prayers plead with God to remain alive and present with them. And when the moon shines once again, jubilant expressions of gratitude affirm their belief in the living and guiding presence of their God. The Rendille people also seek insight into the future through the services of fortune tellers who provide glimpses of what lies ahead. In times of drought, they perform sacrificial rituals to entreat their god of rain. Some offer small lambs to the god in dry riverbeds, while others journey to Mount Moile, where the men provide sacrifices of goats while women sing and pour milk as they seek divine intervention for the much-needed rainfall. The ancestors hold a significant place in their religious practices as well. Ancestral spirits must be appeased to ensure harmony within the community. When a man passes away, his manyata or homestead is burnt and a sheep is sacrificed to honor his memory. The family then relocates to a new place. As they pass by the previous site, they place milk, water, or tobacco on the grave as the offerings to soothe the spirit of the departed. Within the Rendille society, there are practitioners known as the Lariboni, or traditional witch doctors, skilled in sorcery and play a crucial role in aiding people with healing and deliverance of individuals affected by mental afflictions and other challenges. Additionally, there is an esteemed figure called the Oloiboni, who serves as a diviner and foreteller, providing insights and predictions that hold significance within the community. The Rendille also perform annual Passover ceremonies known as Sorio, a term that translates to sacrifice to God. During this sacred event, the firstborn son of each family takes part in the ritual by slaughtering sheep and anointing the doorsteps of their homes with the animal's blood. Furthermore, the blood is also applied to the backs of camels and other animals, as well as on the women's ear and cheek, and on the men's chest and forehead. These acts are performed as protective measures, warding off potential ill omens from affecting their homes and livestock. As a communal celebration, the meat from the slaughtered sheep is shared among all family members, including those who did not directly participate in the sacrificial act, fostering a sense of unity and reverence for their ancient traditions. In every Rendille village, there existed a sacred place known as the Nahapo, dedicated to watching and prayer. At the heart of this location, a perpetual fire burns, never allowed to extinguish. Each day, wood is added to keep the flame alive. At the designated hour of 8 p.m., the men of the village would convene at Nahapo for their nightly gatherings. Among them, a chosen man from the Sale subclan assumes the role of the prayer, as the Sale men are revered as the prayer men. When Islam reached the Rendille territory, efforts were made by the Muslims to convert the Rendille to their faith, but they resisted. The Muslims advocated prayer to Allah with faces to the ground, while the Rendille family believed that prayer should be made facing towards the heavens. In response, the Rendille gathered all the copies of the Quran that had been distributed among them and ceremoniously burned them at Mount Moile. Although some individuals embraced Islam at early times, their numbers remained relatively small in comparison to the broader community. The foundation of Rendille culture rests on the strict segregation of genders during significant cultural and spiritual ceremonies. Women are prohibited from engaging in conversations or socializing with men and are traditionally excluded from participating in major religious gatherings with the exception of courtship rituals. The process of transitioning to adulthood involves young men known as the Moran residing in the wilderness where they acquire traditional skills and undergo customary circumcision. Men typically marry after undergoing this rite of passage and usually between the age of 18 and 20. Within the Rendille culture, marriage within one's own clan is not permitted, and the parents typically arrange marriages, as is common among many tribes. In marriage, each wife has her own household with her children, and mothers hold a position of high esteem within the society. Family ties form a strong bond that tightly binds the Rendille community together. Circumcision is celebrated as a public event filled with joy and a sense of honor. Boys and young men undergo circumcision, but the full transition into adulthood occurs later at the age of around 30 during the Enui rite. This significant ceremony marks their passage into becoming elders and grants them the right to own land. During the Enui ritual, participants don a distinctive purple cloth and a white feather as part of their headgear, symbolizing their elevated status within the community. At the ultimate stage of acceptance as an elder, the distinctive cloth worn by the Rendille undergoes a transformation into a checked pattern. The warriors hold their headgear in high regard, and they may become upset if outsiders or members of other tribes, particularly women, touch it. Despite this strong attachment to their traditional attire, some Rendille individuals have embraced Western clothing. In terms of architecture, Rendille houses stand taller compared to those of other pastoralist tribes and are designed in a circular shape. Every 7 or 14 years, a significant shift in status occurs for different male age groups, progressing from childhood to boyhood, then to warriorhood, and finally to elderhood. This cyclical transition marks important milestones in the lives of Rendille men as they mature and take on various roles within the community. Young girls were frequently reserved for marriage at a young age by older men, and they could be wed as young as 10 or 12 years old. The transition of Rendille women from maidenhood to marriage was marked by the distressing practice of clitorilectomy conducted in private on the morning of their wedding day. In Rendille marriage customs, the prospective groom is required to present a dowry known as gunu to the bride's family. This typically includes 4 male and 4 female camels, with half of them offered to the father and the remainder distributed among the family members. Notably, one of the camels is slaughtered and consumed during the wedding celebration. On their wedding, Rendille girls receive beautifully adorned beaded collars called emboro, engorio, crafted from palm fibers, giraffe or elephant hairs. On the other hand, the warriors prepare for the wedding by applying makeup using red ochre and sheep fat. They adorn themselves with long hair intricately woven and braided, which is then dyed red with ochre and fat, creating a vibrant and eye-catching display on their bodies. The bride adorns herself with jewelry made from glass and metal, including necklaces made from beads and wire, as well as headbands and a large circular earrings. Following the wedding, she becomes part of the husband's family. In the community, the elders gather in a ritual circle called the Nabo, where women are allowed to participate, and this space serves as a place for discussing and resolving issues, praying, receiving guests, and conducting various ceremonies. Polygamy is a customary practice among the Rendille, allowing a wealthy man to have up to 5 wives. At the birth of a child, special ceremonies are held. If it's a girl, an ewe goat is sacrificed, and if it's a boy, a ram is sacrificed. The newborn girl is blessed 3 times, while the boy is blessed 4 times. Additionally, the mother consumes blood for 3 days after giving birth to a baby girl, and 4 days if it's a baby boy. Regarding death rituals, a celebration day is observed where the belongings of the deceased are distributed as gifts to those attending the ceremony. The ceremonial rituals of the Rendille can be categorized into naming, circumcision, marriage, and death. Each of these ceremonies is accompanied by highly significant events and practices serving as important rites of passage in the community. Rendille women adorn themselves with beautiful beads worn around their necks, wrists, and ankles. The Moran or young warriors don colorful shukas which are wrapped around their bodies, and they dye their hair using a mixture of mud and minerals. Men usually wear wrapped cloth instead of trousers. While Western clothing is becoming more popular, it is still more common to see men from the Rendille community still donning their traditional attire. The Rendille calendar operates on a system of 7 or 14-year cycles, incorporating both the lunar and solar elements. Passed down through the oral tradition, this calendar plays a crucial role in determining the different life stages that men must go through before reaching the elder status. Additionally, it meticulously regulates the movements of the Rendille clans across their ancestral lands, preventing conflicts over resources such as the forage and water rights, and also safeguarding against overgrazing that could lead to the certification of their already challenging environment. The calendar also influences women through the Sepade institution, wherein women of a particular age set postpone their marriages, resulting in a notable decrease in overall Rendille fertility. Every 7 or 14 years, there is a significant advancement in the status of male age sets, transitioning from childhood to boyhood, and then to warriorhood, and finally to elderhood. The world of the Rendille people is really captivating, a proud and resilient ethnic group whose traditions have endured through generations. However, their culture stands at the crossroads of a tradition and modernity, and we witness their quest to preserve their unique heritage while embracing the winds of change. Thank you very much for watching this video, and do not forget to like and subscribe so that you do not miss any future videos. Thank you and have a great time. Isagarna.